Week 9 film review here, Chris.
Yep.
And boy, was this something. The Bills' defense completely stifled Patrick Mahomes. But the question is, the pressures.
Right. Let's talk about this.
Was it the pass rush that had Mahomes in shambles?
Right.
Or was it the guys on the back end and what they schematically threw at
Right.
them?
So tell me the numbers of the pressures here. Let's start it off with that, and then I'll give you the context of that a little bit here.
So Mahomes was pressured
Right.
52.6% of the time.
Right, which is crazy because it's not the truth here. That's not the truth.
Right.
Okay? It's an awesome number. I mean, I got it. But, okay, so then go in with that for a little bit more here.
So this is the first time he had faced pressure on a majority of his dropbacks since 2020 in Week 5. But just 2 of the 20 pressures came under 2.5 seconds, which is, for those at home, that's about the average of the NFL quarterback getting the ball out.
Right.
2.5 seconds.
So wait, so if he holds it for 6 seconds and nobody's open, and now finally somebody gets there, that's pressure?
This drives me
So, see,
nuts.
this is where the numbers and analytics sometimes are just off. That's where you got, there's context matters. It matters. If you're watching the game with any quarterback that ever played in the NFL or any offensive coach or you who knows football, and we sat there, you go, oh my gosh, the protection for Mahomes is awesome today. Awesome. 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 That's where you like when you know, and again, I'm victim to this too in the moment. Man, he got hit 15 times, right? He got hit 15 times. Whoa, he must have been a little under more pressure than I thought, really, you know? And again, I'm getting dressed, watching games, got multiple games on. So, yeah, I maybe lose nuance of that in my initial reaction. But then I turn on the film yesterday and I go, he's hit 15 times. How many times was he sacked overall? I don't, you know. But of all that, I go, there was a Christian Benford corner blitz. That would be the only one I'd go, okay, yeah, he got somebody on him right away, and that was real pressure. For the most part of the day, it was coverage sacks. It was coverage, coverage, coverage. It was if Mahomes got hit or was in trouble, it was because nobody was open, and then he moved in the pocket and tried to extend the plays or whatever, and then, of course, pressure came, and he's got to throw the ball, right? So, yeah, I don't buy those pressure those stats there. You know, pressure is I get the ball, set hut, oh my gosh, they're all over me right away. Oh, I got to get the ball out. Pressure isn't set hut, oh, let me bake a cake, let me make some cookies, let me bake another cake. Oh, wait, somebody's around me now and I'm going to get hit?
Right, that's not on the online.
Exactly right. So that's kind of crazy there. But Buffalo, the first thing, and I think you saw my notes, is, I mean, Buffalo, the coverage, the mix-ups, you brought it up yesterday.
Yeah.
I mean, they never played the same coverage in any situation twice in a row, right? So it's like, hey, third down, sometimes teams come out of a theme a little bit, right? The Chiefs are probably like, wait, last third down, we got this coverage. The third down before that, we got a different coverage. The third down before that, what's second and long? I mean, you look at, you know, teams write this stuff down as they go. There's no correlation. I don't know. It's a different coverage every second and long. We can't find any routine in what they're doing. So I think that's where the beauty of Buffalo is. And then when you don't run the ball on top of that, you can't simplify them or get them into anything predictable. And I think that is one thing I will say. The Chiefs, I do think, gave up on the run too quickly. I do think they ran the ball and actually opened up some holes when they did it. And then they just didn't run the ball. They allowed Buffalo to play coverage the better part of the night, where I go, you're opening up some holes here. But Buffalo never bought it. You saw first off, when you come out with 2 tight ends and the other team goes, we're going to play nickel, we don't really care, you're not a very good running team.
They're daring you.
They're daring you. They're literally going, we're daring you to run, and we still don't even think you'll run, even though you got the big people on them. We don't buy it. You might run it once, great, but we know you're going to pass it again. That's what Andy Reid and the Chiefs do, right? So that's the first thing that hurts them. Now, they're a little healthier on the defensive backside. I think that's the thing. You look at them and you go, hey, 24, Cole Bishop can run. Maxwell Harrison in the mix can run, right? Benford's healthy. He can run, right? We have no Teron Johnson right now. But Cam Lewis, not bad, certainly. They've been playing the rookie from Ohio State,
Jordan
Hancock, exactly right, who gives them at least some speed, right? So from that aspect right there, I think that's the first thing you look at that is really unbelievable. But then, like you brought up yesterday, it's the mixing of the coverages. That's really, to me, was the key to the day, and that Andy Reid and Mahomes could never really get a feel for what was going to be called, right? I'm sure they had plays where they're like, hey, when we go this personnel, we think they're going to kind of play these 2 or 3 coverages, but they can never get in a groove or get in anything where you felt like, oh, wait, they're in a routine of doing this or that in the defense, and I think that was kind of the beauty of the football game, and that's why he got hit so much. It was because he couldn't find people open down the field. So with all the coverage, and then I feel like they also dabbled in a little bit more man and maybe two-man.
They did.
To take away the short passing game.
Yeah.
That, to me, was the other aspect of this whole thing, and they did. So go ahead. Tell me those numbers.
Well, to your point first about third downs.
Right.
The coverage diversity was great. They ran cover 1. They played man 4 times.
Right.
They ran cover 3 times,
right.
quarters twice, and cover 6 once.
Right.
So
and when they ran
half.
cover 6 with quarter, half, you probably saw this in my notes. Usually it's quarters and then cover 2 zone to the other side. They went quarters and played 2-man on the backside.
Right.
Which, again, was another little different wrinkle there. So, yes, that gave Kansas City issues. And Kansas City, didn't separate all that well throughout the day. And when you play a team as much as you play each other, as far as Buffalo and Kansas City, there was a lot of plays where you feel like McDermott kind of had a feel for the route combinations going on here. And I always say, it's cover 4, but it's like cover 4 specific for the Chiefs. And they change it and have them drop right where they want to throw the football, right? And that's where the beauty of McDermott, and that's what's tough when you play Buffalo and you don't have a run game. Because when he can just dial up passes, they're so smart, they communicate so well. Yeah. Their communication's amazing. Because there'll be like 3 receivers to the left or 2 receivers to the left with a tight end. They'll be playing one defense. The motion will happen, and they totally will reorchestrate their defense on the fly and play a totally different defense as soon as you change that formation. And that speaks to the coaching and, of course, the players they have that are smart to execute it.
And the continuity. Their defense has some of the best continuity from a coaching staff in the league.
Yes,
and everybody yells for guys to be fired all the time. Well, the benefit of actually keeping coaches for a while is that you can keep adding wrinkles and growing into your defense intellectually, like you said.
Right.
Let's get into some of these plays here that you outlined because, I mean, Mahomes was just a brutal day for him.
It was tough for him. He wasn't on his game.
Yeah.
Did he miss a few throws? Yes, sure. And then did he get, I feel like at times, impatient? This is Mahomes' kryptonite. When he kind of feels like, wait, we're not really executing, he tries to look to make plays maybe too much.
Like drag them out of it?
Yes, and he tries to, let me see if I can jumpstart it and do it. And, it was ugly. And I always love that about Mahomes, that he tries to jumpstart the team. But there's times where you go, hey, this is just the way it's going to be today, and we don't need to be so greedy. There was some underneath guys you could have hit that kind of kept you in better positions or kept moving the ball that way. And I think he would probably tell you that, too, after watching the film on Monday.
To your point about his sacks, the 4 sacks from the time to snap, like 4.4 seconds, 3.9, 6.6, 4.4. That's just holding the ball.
That's holding the ball. That's right. That was confusion. And like we said yesterday, there's a lot of plays of like, oh, I want to throw it. Oh, no, wait, there's somebody there. And now I got to dance around and move a little bit.
Let's look at one of those sacks. This is in the third quarter. There's 6 minutes and 22 seconds left. This is a 3rd and 16.
Right.
So this is where Michael Hoyt and Greg Rousseau split a sack here, Chris. And we got the dots breaking down this play, showing the route concepts and the coverage.
I just want to get to
take
my
your time. We'll get
notes
into it.
Here
we'll run through the dots
and,
here.
Where I am at here, exactly right. But here we go. I mean, again, you're going to see here. First off, right, Mahomes dancing around here, looking down the football field. He's got 3 receivers to the left. This was a play here too, where they're looking to take a shot down the. I think really looking to take go ball shots down the field a little bit, and he on the right side, Benford backs up with the snap. I think he's kind of looking there at Xavier Worthy. But as you see here, the protection is not bad. He steps up in the pocket right there. He's okay. And he kind of gets caught watching the rush. And this would be one of those plays where you go, man, usually he finds Kelsey here or the check down as he's kind of in the mess. And boom, and he had that, right? But he kind of waited too long for somebody downfield and, of course, holds the ball too long. And this is one of those plays where I go, he got sacked, but the protection was fine. That wasn't the problem. The problem was the coverage was pretty good, and Mahomes got a little greedy, and there was definitely a handful of plays like that throughout the football game.
Yeah, so that was the split sack. And like you said, Chris, it's a 4-man rush, and they're just playing coverage, which is, a little bit of a theme here. How about that was a Mahomes mistake, obviously, but let's go back to the second quarter.
Right.
This is a 2nd and 12 at the Buffalo 35. This is the incompletion to Noah Gray at this point in the game.
And a big part of the game here, it's quarter 2, right? And I'm giggling. Let me get to my damn page here. But this is one where it's a force. This is a First off, it's what was the down and distance? Second and
12.
Right? 2nd and 12. And this is where you felt like he was getting a little frustrated here. Okay, so again, you're going to see, and what they did really great in this game throughout was they always had somebody kind of watching Mahomes or scrambling, right? Even when they rushed 4, it was like one of the D tackles or somebody didn't really rush. Here, you're going to see 55 is Hoyt, right? He's kind of sitting there.
Yeah.
He doesn't really rush. He's watching Mahomes. But my point being in this play here, again, is a little bit greedy Mahomes. They're going to play some man-to-man coverage here. They are. And within the formation, they send 4 eligibles to the left, and nobody covers Kareem Hunt. And he should just throw the ball to Kareem Hunt here, who's going to get the first down.
Yeah.
I mean, he's going to get the first down. Instead, he forces the ball downfield to Noah Gray, who's not open, as you see there. It's Bishop. It's Cam Lewis. They're all over him. And he just didn't need to force that ball in that scenario there. And again, these are just little plays that set you up to score, get points there, and I believe this was a drive. I can't remember how it ended up. I believe they ended up maybe having to kick a long field goal here.
I think you're right.
And instead, you go, wait, they kind of moved the ball. They did some good things here, and that should not have been 3rd and 12. It should have been 1st and 10 or 3rd and 2 or 3 at the very least, and those are the situations you want to stay in with Buffalo because now it's 3rd and long, and it's like, good luck.
Right, it's all
good luck calling the right
them.
play and figuring out what defense they're going to do there.
All right, so another one here that we have, the Kareem Hunt stuff on 1st and goal. This is in the second quarter, right before
and my other thing, too, with that, just so I hit this, but this is the point I missed with that last play there. There's 2 tight ends. Show that play again if you don't mind, if that's okay, Pete. It's 2 tight ends here. They play dime defense. Dime, all right? 2. So there's another extent of, like, why are we even putting 2 tight ends on the field
just go with the
if
wide
we're never
receivers?
going to really run the football and make the team believe we're going to run the football with 2 tight ends?
Right.
They totally called their bluff here. They're just like, no. We're going to have 1 linebacker in the football game. 1. They got number 8. He's the only linebacker in the game. Everybody else is a DB, and then they got the 4 D linemen. Right? So that, to me, again, bad play, and then also showing that they don't respect your run thoughts or the fact that you'll stay consistent with that run at all. Sorry, guys. I
no, it's a great point because it feels like they wanted to show them. It's almost like Buffalo's fear. Buffalo's fear right now is like, oh, they're running.
Oh,
the ball
no, they're
going to
get big on us. They're going to get
right.
Exactly right. And Buffalo never bought into it. Right.
And it never felt like that in this game.
Not at all.
It's felt like that for Buffalo in other games,
right.
but not in this game at
all.
all.
Not at all. Not at all.
So the next one is the Kareem Hunt getting stuffed. This is right before the
huge
half.
moment of the game.
Massive because they're trying to do everything they can to walk into the half with 6,
right,
not 3. And this is at the 1-yard line here. And this is Buffalo's kryptonite a little bit is playing big in these spots.
Exactly right. And then you couple of, first off, this is all set up by Hollywood Brown. Hollywood Brown, the big catch, like where you go, 1, Mahomes didn't throw him the greatest ball. So now he had to stop and turn, and he falls down at the 1-yard line when you think he scored originally.
Yeah.
Right? So that was a big moment. But here, now, of all plays, they won't stay consistent with the run. Okay? You can see there's 9 guys in the box.
Out.
This is where you're supposed to throw this ball to Xavier Worthy on the left. They have 3-on-2. This is what it's designed for. Cole Bishop, who's number 24, you'll see him again when it re-racks right up there on the left. He is all eyes in on the run and in the box, right? And that's, to me, was shocking because this is an RPO. And I'm shocked that Mahomes didn't just throw this out there to Xavier Worthy, who would have walked in for the score. Because Juju's make the block, and Tre'Davious White's going to have to run through Rashee Rice, and it's not going to happen. They had a setup. Anybody who doesn't believe me, go watch the real film for real. You'll see. That was another moment where you just go, not only did Hollywood not get in, which you'd like to, and you'd like Mahomes to throw him a little bit better ball, but there they are in that situation right there where not too many, slam dunks present themselves at the 1-yard line, and that was one where you feel like, man, Mahomes doesn't miss something like that very much, and he missed it there.
The last thing from the film review, and this is something you've been preaching since the game ended.
Yeah.
A little bit more team speed in Buffalo's secondary.
I think so. I didn't maybe give it enough credit going into the football game. And, I'm always a believer in when you play some of these really good offenses, you got to take some calculated risk, right? You got to take a few chances every now and then and go, okay, this isn't perfect everywhere, but we think we have a good feel for what they do. We're going to take a risk here. Man, if they call maybe this 1 or 2 plays, we're in deep trouble, but we don't see them really call that, and we're going to take a shot. And I think this is the Christian Benford sack now, right?
Yes.
This is the one we're talking about, right? And this is one here.
Second quarter, 12 minutes, 47 seconds left. This is 1st and 10.
1st and 10, 2 tight ends in the football game. And look what they do here. Xavier Worthy goes in motion. They put Matt Milano on him one-on-one. One-on-one. And they went, wait, we're going to bring a corner blitz off the edge. Benford here down on the bottom. And I'm sure Mahomes is going, when Xavier Worthy's in motion, he's going, wait, Benford's got to take him. There's nobody else. And they blitz him and let Milano basically play off. And they just go, we think our blitz will be able to get there before Xavier Worthy runs by Milano. And it did. He was right. And that was a brilliant call. And there's got to be some of that, right? So that's where McDermott was amazing. It wasn't only just the mixing of the coverages and all that, but a few calculated risks. They didn't let Mahomes run at all. Look at Mahomes' stats. Really. Again, like I said, when they rushed 3, they had a spy still. When they rushed 4, it felt like there was always one guy that, yeah, he was kind of rushing, but he was really just waiting for Mahomes to make the break in case he scrambled, and then they'd hit him as he was throwing the ball and doing that. And that, to me, was really the theme of the game overall. One other thing. Yeah, go ahead.
To your point, though, about the calculated risk.
Right.
So the Bills faced 40 pass attempts in this game, 40 dropbacks.
Right.
They only blitzed 8 times. 8 times.
Just a little bit.
There was, I think, just that 1, maybe 2 corner blitzes, a couple simulated pressures, a couple 5-man pressures. There was no 6 or 7-man pressures. So they were trying to really just pick the spot to hit from.
Exactly right.
Not overload them.
If they blitzed 1, they dropped 1. They did that, right? We all know, you over-blitz Mahomes, you're going to get your ass torched, period. So it's about picking your spots a little bit. And it's also about giving the illusion of blitzing without blitzing. And that's something that is definitely in vogue in the NFL right now.
Every week.
Right? I mean, we're going to talk about on tomorrow's pod the Vikings and the Lions and all of that and the pressure they put on Jared Goff in that football game. Well, I could tell you right away from the film there, it's not blitz. I mean, there's some blitz, but a lot of it is blitz 2, drop 2, blitz 1, drop 1. And you mess up the protection rules. And, yeah, I think that's what they did really well in this football game. Andy Reid, Matt Nagy, Mahomes never got in a groove in anything in that way. And then the other thing that the Bills are really good at, and this is, to me, this is lost nuance in the football and only really good deep. They give you false keys. False keys, all right? So go to us 2 together, right? We're 2 safeties playing cover 2, right? Say we're cover 2 safeties usually go like this, right? You go that way, I go this way, right? That's what you do, right? You kind of spread, and your body kind of leans that way, and your chest opens to the sideline a little bit. They're really good at going, hey, you go down at the snap. We're going to play cover 3. And this backside safety, when Mahomes says set hut, he kind of gives you like, hey, I'm playing cover 2. And then he starts to float to the middle of the field. So the quarterback, when he gets it, his first thing, usually every quarterback, set hut, you get the ball, it's spot the safeties, right? And usually you could tell by body language and how they're moving of what's coverage you're about to get with the safeties. But when a safety does something like that, all of a sudden you look over at me, right? And, oh, wait, you went down. And he looks over this side. He goes, oh, I'm getting cover 2. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, wait, it's not cover 2. Hold on. Wait, it's single safety, but that safety looked like he was playing cover 2. He didn't really rotate to the middle of the field. He kind of cheated to one side of the field playing single safety, which was also taught because they were like, hey, you can protect him here. We don't need you in the total middle, right? So they were very cute in that aspect too. Rex Ryan was the king of that back in the day.
He loved it.
The king of that. That's what confused Brady and Belichick all the times, all those years, as false keys, and McDermott really good at it in Buffalo.
Because as the quarterback, Chris, when you're taking your drop, are you thinking, okay, first read and what the coverage is? And if you're thinking cover 2, okay, I'm going to have the middle of the field, but it's actually thirds, oh, now I'm throwing it at the defender.
Right. And that's what can lead to, wait, now oh, wait, I had good protection. I was about to throw it. I got fooled. Now I'm holding the ball. And now, oh, it's pressure. When it's like, no, you had 4 seconds. It's not pressure. You got confused. That's what exactly right. When you're a quarterback, too, a lot of the times the coverage can dictate where the number one read is. Yeah. That's the other thing, too, right? Where you go, hey, wait, if it's single safety, they told me to make this guy the number one read. If it's two safeties, we're going to kind of play another concept over here, and this guy's going to be my number one read. So you get fooled, and all of a sudden you're going, wait, I got him. They're in cover 2 over here. And you look over and you go, oh, wait, this is in cover 2. And now you have to flip to the other side. And, of course, it throws off your internal clock, and that's what a really good defense can mess with a quarterback's brain that way.
So one of your original points on this was the Chiefs just bailing on the run.
Yes.
I think the numbers make it even more maddening.
Yeah.
Kareem Hunt rushing by number of defenders in the box. So a six-man box or less, he had 5 carries for 22 yards, 4.4 yards per carry. That's fine.
Yeah.
Listen to this.
Yeah.
7-man box.
Right.
4 carries for 25 yards. He averaged 6.3 yards per carry. And then, of course, his 2 carries running into an 8-man or more box was for 1 yard, but that's the game.
That's fine.
But the 7-man box.
Yeah, 7-man box, still run the ball.
That's the NFL football.
Right. And because even within that 7-man box, they were playing coverage. Like, they weren't even really honed in on, like, let's stop the run, right? So that's it's unbelievable. And, yeah, they let Buffalo off the hook. And they let them off the hook. I understand when you're a passing team, you want to err on passing. I get that, right? But when a team continually plays coverage and 2 deep and 2 deep and coverage and 2 deep, right? At some point, you got to pivot a little bit and go, wait, we're letting them off the hook by becoming one-dimensional. And they just never really access that part of their football game.
All right, so I think the question everybody has is, can this really carry over to the postseason?
Yeah.
And we're not going to have that answer until they play again, but it always feels like, because this happens to the Chiefs a lot, they lose to Buffalo in the regular season a lot.
They recalibrate, they come back and play them again, and they find well, what did we mess up? Where can we take advantage of things we didn't the first time, right? And that's where they're amazing. Yeah, Mahomes and company always make proper adjustments when they get back at it. But, yeah, this will be interesting, too. Well, it'd just be interesting to see. What I want to see from Buffalo is not necessarily this, because as we've discussed, they match up with the Chiefs. They're built to beat the Chiefs. This is why they play the way they play.
Right.
Because they're like, hey, we give their Chiefs passing game problems. This is it. And that's why they've had their way that way. I'm more interested to see what the Bills can do against some other offenses in football, right? That's teams that can run the football. That's still the thing that I question about them going forward. Maybe them being healthier in the secondary. Maybe they'll be able to dabble in some man and do some other creative stuff a little bit more, but we'll see where that goes going forward.
Yeah, they're going to have a rematch with New England in the middle of December.
Right.
That'll be a big test for them. They play the Eagles the second to last week of the season at home. That game will matter a lot for seeding.
Yep.
I can guarantee you that. It could be, obviously the division is going to be up for grabs.
Right.
So there's still some big tests ahead for them.
Yeah, there's some big tests. There's no doubt about that. They're not out of it, but I do like the adjustments from the bye week. That's what we're seeing. The defense, secondary more healthy, and then them being like a stubborn running football team going forward. I think those are all positive for the Buffalo Bills.
Listen to this last one on the Chiefs.
Right.
They're 0-4 now in one-score games.
I know.
Going into this season, they'd won an NFL record 17 straight one-score games. Is this something has happened to the Chiefs' mystique, or do you think at some point the regression just had to happen?
I think it had to happen.
It's hit a little harder than we thought.
Yeah, I think they still have mystique, but I think there's 2 things that jump to me, in that their defense isn't as dominant as we've discussed, right? The defense has gotten progressively a little worse each year the last 3 or 4 years. Every year it's gotten a little worse. And then I think on top of that, like, lack of go-to guys in big moments right now for this team, right? That's the issue. Right now, the only go-to guy in a big moment is number 4. That's the only guy.
Yeah.
You know, Xavier Worthy and Hollywood Brown, again, the game getting bumped coming off the line of scrimmage, zones having that hurts them. They're not great at that. They don't get where they need to go in a hurry at sometimes. You know, they just don't play a physical element of receiver because they're smaller type of guys. And then, of course, Kelsey is not the same anymore. So I would say it's those 2 things of just, hey, law of averages a little bit, defense not being as good, and the offense is just not still scary, right? When we talked about them being really good the last few weeks, it wasn't because we were like they were scary. We were just like what we said. Mahomes, if just get to the short passing game, become elite like that, right? That was the scary part of it. I don't think people are looking at their personnel going, oh, I have to double Xavier Worthy or Hollywood Brown. It's Rashee Rice maybe in some certain situations, and other than that, right, I don't think there's a lot that scares you there other than Mahomes just dissecting you and making plays. Yo, thanks for watching, homies. We are now in the NFL season here on Chris Simms Unbuttoned.
Hit subscribe to get our weekly picks, game recaps, film deep dives, and much, much more.
Thanks again for watching. Subscribe, rate, review. Peace out. You know where to find us.